Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry, is a new documentary on the streaming service Apple TV Plus. This documentary explores the personal life of Billie Eilish, her music career, and other aspects of her life that were previously made private from the public. When I heard they were going to make a documentary on Billie Eilish, I was intrigued. I would not say I am a diehard fan of Billie Eilish, but I do believe she is very talented. My personal favorite song of hers is No Time to Die, and I've listened to her debut album, which I also believe is really good. Her music is different than a lot of other people's music today, but I enjoy it for the most part. So the question is, what did I think of this documentary? In all honesty, I liked it. I would not say it's one of the greatest documentaries I have ever seen, but I do believe it is pretty solid. As I mentioned before, I do not consider myself a die-hard fan of Billie Eilish, but I do have a lot of respect for her. She's only 19 years old and she's accomplished so much in her music career. She's won 5 Grammys. She wrote a debut album that is a massive hit, to say the least. She sang a song for a James Bond movie, and she has millions of followers around the world. And she accomplished all of those things before she was 19. So even if you don't like her music, you do have to admit that is very impressive. My favorite scenes in this documentary are the ones in which Billie Eilish and her brother are creating her debut album, and the scenes where they talk about the process and you see how Billie Eilish is dealing with it all. Those were my favorite scenes of the documentary. It's pretty cool to see how the brother was really involved with Billie Eilish. He's the writer, and I believe when she won the Grammy, her brother accepted the award with her. She won 5, so one of them, I know her brother accepted it with her. In any case, watching those scenes, to me, they were pretty cool. Now, prior to this documentary, I did not know much of anything about her personal life. I never really had the ambition to look up anything. And from my understanding, she's been very private. So when I started to see this documentary, as I was watching it, rather, I noticed there were certain things that caught me off guard. Like, I had no idea that prior to her singing, she had a different hobby, which looked like she was going to take that career path, but due to an injury, she had to stop doing it, and it really took a toll on her mentally. Additionally, the documentary also focuses on her relationships with other people, well, specifically her family, her personal relationship with a boyfriend that, from my understanding, not many people knew about at all outside of her family. This film explores, as I said, certain aspects of her life that were not made public to her fans. And I thought it was interesting to see how all of these aspects of her life played out. And in essence, this is really about not so much her music career, but how she has been mentally, her dealing with everything. And in all reality, I have a lot of respect for her as an artist, even more now. And it really is a sad life. I'm not going to spoil much of anything. I know I revealed some certain things, but trust me when I say this documentary, it really goes in depth and more into detail than those things. So when I tell you certain aspects of what happened, it really is minimal. It's only scratching the surface of what really went on in her life and what currently is going on in her life. So this documentary is rated R, and it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do not believe that the 2 hour and 20-minute runtime was really warranted. If I'm being honest, there were certain points in the documentary where I felt that runtime. And I have other issues with the documentary, but I believe they are into spoiler territory. And look, Billie Eilish, as I said before, she has made her life, her personal life, pretty private from the public. And Apple TV Plus is a streaming service not everybody has. So I imagine there are so many people who want to see this documentary and they don't have access to seeing it. So they're either figuring out a way to do it or they're saving money to pay for Apple TV Plus because of this. So because of those things, I'm not going to reveal spoilers. And it's cool to see, once you watch everything, happen, then it's more of a rewarding experience because the less you know, the better it is. And I say that a lot in my reviews, but for this documentary in particular, it's the case for that. I'm not going to make this review any longer because I find it difficult to not talk about it more and reveal certain details of the film. So I'm going to end it right here. But before I end the review, I do want to share something very important that I think it's crucial that everybody who's watching this video or wants to see this movie knows before watching it. So Billie Eilish is very open about her depression in this film. as a matter of fact, her depression is a big theme in this movie in many ways. I would like to point out the fact that there are moments where she talks about her suicide attempt. There are moments where she talks about her past habits of inflicting self-harm on herself. And I think it's important to know, for people to know that before watching the movie, because I understand that there are people out there who are suicidal, who are suffering through a mental health crisis, and perhaps someone has lost somebody who has suffered from those two issues. And I know that that can be triggering to those people. So I want to let you guys know that, so you can be prepared and take the decision of whether you want to see this documentary or not. And since this movie is about mental health and depression, and I took the time to talk about that with you guys, I'm going to, in the description box below, I'm going to leave the hotlines for the National Suicide Prevention Line and a hotline for 24-hour crisis center. The suicide hotline is also 24/7. So if you're suicidal, or if you're not in the right place mentally, or if you know somebody who belongs in either of the two categories, please feel free to use any of these two hotlines. They are beneficial, they are 24/7, and it's important to have this conversation. So for anybody watching this video, if you identify with any of those two things, please consider using these hotlines. Despite what your thoughts may tell you, you're not alone. There's always going to be people who love you and people who are going to want to help you with your issues. So I just feel the need to point that out. I don't know if other film critics are doing that. I did not take the time to either watch another review of this movie or read articles from critics or journalists, but I think that's something they should be sharing. So I'm doing that just in case if other people aren't. But in any case, back to the documentary, I believe the positives outweigh the negatives. I only have some issues with the documentary, but it's well done. I'm glad I saw it. And if you're a Billie Eilish hardcore fan, I think you'll be satisfied with the documentary. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, which I know that might mean that there are going to be Billie Eilish hardcore fans that might dislike this video because it's not a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. Look, 7 out of 10 is a good score. I like the documentary. I always try to be as honest as I can. I just liked it. I didn't love it, but I can see other people possibly loving it. And if that's you, good for you, man. And if you're a hardcore Billie Eilish fan, or if you're not a fan of Billie Eilish, it's interesting to see this person's life. Interesting to see their life just play out, how it plays out on screen. So that's my review of Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry. I hope you guys enjoy this review, and we'll take it into consideration if you want to see the film or not. And my next review will be another documentary, Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell. That documentary is on Netflix, and it's about Biggie Smalls. So I'll be reviewing that very soon for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Once again, please feel free to like the video, share it, subscribe to my channel for more reviews in the future if you guys haven't already. And that pretty much sums it up. So thank you guys once again. I'll see you next time. Take care. All right. Bye.